Hey everybody, welcome back to the K2N Online Paddle School. We are back here on YouTube, and this week we're doing a product review sent to us from WashRider. The product that we're looking at this week is the Y-Rax, which is a V-bar setup for transporting your long boat. What makes the Y-Rax unique is having the strap system built into the V. The ratcheting mechanism is found right on the side of the bar itself, and with a simple click of the button, you can retract that right back into place. The carabiner pulls around to the side, and then the carabiner will lock into place here with the boat over the top. The ratcheting mechanism itself can be opened and cranked to provide a very secure lock on your boat. The primary aspect of this is definitely convenience. The moment that you put your boat back onto your rack, you can instantly have the strap mechanism readily available. There's a lot of times during downwinders where you put your boat onto the V-bars and you're searching back into your vehicle looking for your straps or your cam strap, and the boat is vulnerable to a gust of wind blowing it off unless you have somebody there to secure it. In this instance, you can put the boat on here, strap this around the top, click this on, loosely secure it, and then get both sides down very quickly. So in high wind scenarios, this convenience can save your boat. There is padding on this side of the aluminum bar that provides a nice cushion for your boat. The material on the outside seems slick enough for the boat to slide back and forth, which we'll test when we put this on one of our vehicles here. The bar itself is about 6 foot long, which provides a great base of support for your vessel as you're transporting it both short distances and long distances. In general, these V-bar configurations is one of the best ways to haul your boat securely. The innovation with the V-bars is having your bases of support extended much further out than your typical roof rack. So the bar itself attaches, and then you have an extra 2 or 3 feet on either side for that base of support. The further the cradles are holding your boat, the more secure it is inherently. If those bases of support are very close to each other, like typical roof racks are only 1 or 2 feet apart from each other, the wind can now turn the nose and the tail with greater leverage, forcing you to tie off the front or the back with bow and stern lines. V-bars mitigate the need to have those bow and stern lines. Other V-bars will require either bungees or cam straps being put on over the boat separate from the unit. So with the WashRider, it is very convenient having that built directly into the unit. There's a pin system here that you pull, and it easily removes your ends so you can transport the bar without the V's out in the air. Dropping back into place is just one pin button, and it just slides right in. Great, so that's a general overview. We are gonna go check it out on the vehicle. Before we do that, I want to give a big thank you to WashRider for sending us this product for us to demo it, show it off to you guys, and get some feedback and input from people checking this thing out. If you have a product and you would like to see it broadcasted here on the K2N Online Paddle School on our YouTube here, please reach out via email or on the live chat service on the website. K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com has everything you need for learning, resources for strategizing for your next big race. If you're planning to do a Chattajack this year, we can help you maximize your race result this year. Whether you're paddling a stand-up paddleboard, an Outrigger canoe, a Surfski, if you are going at it prone, please reach out to us, K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com. We are here to help you. Thanks again to WashRider, and I'll see you guys out in the yard. All right, so the Y-Rack is going to go on my girlfriend's hatchback, so I'm placing this here. I'm going to check the hatchback in the back, opening it up, make sure that when it does open, it doesn't touch the rear bar. Because the Y-Rack slide in vertically, it makes it very simple that as long as the back of the vehicle doesn't touch that aspect, you can just slide it top down and it's good to go. Pretty standard bracket system, so you have the 2 brackets and then the 2 long bolts that go through. So just getting that on. I have these bars as far to the side as they go. We like to haul a sub-taxi next to the V-bars on her vehicle. That way we can easily transport stand-up paddleboards as well. So just speeding through, ratcheting those on. I pulled out my own tool. It's a 13mm socket and just tightened that up pretty good. So the front one is all done and the back one is next. If you look in the background, you can see the weather getting a little bit more inclement as time goes on. It's a push pin system, so you just push the pin, drops right in, and that's it. Pretty simple. I'm loading my Vega onto the top of the vehicle. It's still nice and shiny from buffing it. If you want to see how to buff your own boat, we have videos here on the YouTube channel on doing that. It's still nice and shiny. So these, the Y-Rack system came from Australia, and I opened it literally today to go through. So I'm new to the system. So it pulls one way when it's in the release setting on the ratchet. So you just pull that over, clip it into the pin, you hit the tensioner and it'll tighten, and then from there, holding that release, you can then crank on the actual ratchet mechanism to pull it tighter into the Y-rack system itself. All of the paperwork and common sense will tell you not to over ratchet this, so you just want to just use a couple fingers during the ratcheting. You can see the boat compress into the soft pads on the Y-rack itself, and that's a fairly good indicator that it is snug and secure on the Y-rack. So when you're strapping these down, the success of the straps being 6 feet apart, 1.78 meters, that's where a lot of your security is coming from, more so than the tightness of the physical strap itself. Unlocking the ratchet allows you to pull, get a little bit of slack in there, pull the carabiner out, and then pull it over the top. Hitting the red button will retract it right back into the unit in one little click, just like so. So it's back nice and neat. So I'm going to put it back on. The rain is starting to come in, and I've decided I'm going to leave the boat on the vehicle, and I don't want the wind to blow it off. So I'm actually putting it back on one more time, hitting the red button to get some the tension back on the line, and I'm going to open that up, crank it a couple times, give it a good little shake, crank it a little bit more, and it's on there, and it's that simple. So this next shot is the procedure of taking the straps off and taking the boat off of the top of the vehicle. So this takes about a single minute to go through, so it's pretty fast. I just received this system, so I'm still kind of learning the finesse going along with the ratchet system, and it is fairly straightforward. It is a little bit more complex than using bungees or cam straps, but it only takes a few minutes to get acclimated with the ratchet system. So this is post rain, so the bucket here is actually full of water. So I'm pulling it back on the Y-racks. It slides very easily, and the boat is full of water, so I have to tip it. And because I go off on an awkward angle and I actually tap into my my stand, don't worry, my girlfriend's not holding the camera and I didn't just knock her head off. Next, I'm taking a K1 and sliding it on. So the Y-rack's very easy to slide back and forth. Even before the rain had set in, the material on the actual Y cradles is very slick, and it makes it very easy to slide back and forth on. So just going through the procedure of putting it on, same thing, hitting the red button to get the slack out of the line, get some tension on there, cranking it once or twice, making sure it has a little bit of wiggle room, and moving on to the other side, getting the carabiner over the top, reaching through, hooking it in, hitting the button, and cranking it on. Like I said, once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. I wanted a bunch of different shots of going through the procedure just to show how easy and simple it can be and how convenient it is to have all these things in one location. In the description box of this video, there will be links that will lead you to WashRider's website and information about getting the Y-racks for yourself if you're interested. If you live in the US, they do ship directly from Australia. If you're on their website, it shows the prices in Australian dollars, which is a bit higher, so don't get sticker shock. There is a conversion that is in our favor in the US. The last boat that I'm going to put on is going to be the widest one that I have within the club right now, which is an Epic V8 Pro, which is 20 inches wide. So I wanted to put on something a little bit wider than the two Elite boats, just to give an idea of how the boat sits in the Y cradles. Because of the Y orientation, it is designed to facilitate both very narrow boats or very wide boats. So you could get away with something that was much wider than this, and it would still fit securely within the cradles. This is another close-up shot of using the ratchet system. So again, same thing, same procedure that we've been going through, just one more close-up angle. Giving it a little wiggle, Always the best way to check. Overall, my first impressions with the product are great. The material is high quality and it's on par with most other typical V-bar configurations. The convenience of the ratchet within the cradle system is very nice. The system I use on my vehicle has something similar with the straps and the pads being built into one unit, and it just makes it very easy and convenient, making sure that you have all those things in one place and they're there for you immediately. The design is great for hatchbacks, especially because the V's enter in from above. It makes it very easy to move the bar by itself around and making sure that it all fits on your vehicle so you can open that rear hatch with no difficulties. Like I mentioned previously, there is a slight learning curve when it comes to using the ratchet mechanism and understanding how to tension it, how to loosen it, how all of that works, and understanding how gentle you have to be with the ratchets to not overly crank and over tension. Because of the amount of leverage that you have with the ratchet mechanism, you can literally break your boat in half if you crank down on it too hard. So just understanding not damaging your boat, right, and understanding how that mechanism works is a learning curve, right? Within the club here, we use OC6s that are held together by ratchet straps, so I'm familiar with them, but most users may not be. The WashRiders send a small pamphlet with information on how to use the ratchet mechanism, and everything in the text will tell you not to crank on it too hard to damage your boat, right? So you have a system that's very secure, and it's secure to the point that it can damage the boat potentially, right? Bungees don't have the ability to do that, but they can also fail, right? Cam straps you can crank down on enough to damage your boat. Their likelihood of failing is less, right? So you have this risk and reward spectrum that we're always navigating when we're trying to haul boats properly. As you see in this video, I strap boats down, unstrap them, 3 different boats back to back to back. It doesn't take long to get the hang of it, so it is a system that is very intuitive and easy to learn. It can be super secure and super convenient being all in one place. Having the ability to take the Ys off will keep the ratchets out of the elements a little bit longer, which will extend the life of those indefinitely. All replacement parts can be found on WashRider's website, and so if anything has to be swapped out, right, you can get those parts ongoing as necessary. I think that about covers it. If I did miss anything, please leave a comment. I'll respond to it, or I'll pin your comment to the top in the comment section. I have no issue with putting in additional information as necessary in the comments if I make a mistake, or if I did miss something, or if you want anything additional, you can reach out anytime and I can get that to you directly as well. Most of the information that we're talking about here and links to purchase the Y-Rack system will be found in the description box. Thank you guys so much for supporting the YouTube channel, and if there's anything you'd like to see in the future, reach out to us and let us know. We'll see you next week for a paddle tip.